Hello, I am Jared Brandon Flande, coming to you from beautiful downtown McMinnville, Oregon on MCM-TV for the annual Cruising McMinnville 2025. This is where everyone comes from all over the nation to show their passion for steel and wheels, right here on historic 3rd Street in McMinnville. There, of course, is a car show earlier today, but once the car show's over and the award ceremonies have happened, it moves to the actual cruising event itself, which you are watching right now. And we're going to have an eclectic mix of cars coming up from the old and new, including, like right here, a very new Mustang, followed by a truck that is so low to the ground it might become part of the road itself here pretty soon. Oh, a very stealthy... see here. Very stealthy Dodge, and there is a brand new Corvette. Now, GM spent almost 60 to 70 years until they decided that the engine went in the proper place in the middle. Well, look, we got some more red coming up here as well. And we can't have a proper car event without a Jeep, in this case, a Jeep truck, which I really enjoy because finally Chrysler went back to the fact that Jeeps are utility vehicles. What else do we got going on here? All right, as you can see, it does cruise down right through the heart of McMinnville. Oh, look at that. Everyone's happy. We're in convertible. I'd like to point out it is 100 degrees this year, so if you have a convertible, you're probably in good shape. Very menacing Challenger passing us by right here, right now. Oh, and of course, we have to have the classic hot rods and the customs. That would not be a cruise without those. And the fastest of Hondas. We have to have the Subaru guys. And that is such a shiny color. Thank goodness I have sunglasses on my head right now. Oh, this car just popped out of nowhere. Fun. All right. That is the fun thing about cruising. Occasionally cruise. Other times we do have to slow down every once in a while. As you can see, there is some brave flaggers out there who responsibly control the flow of traffic. This event has been going on for a number of years now. It started off relatively small, but it's gotten quite sophisticated over time. Oh, here we have another custom that's just as shiny as probably as the guy's personality itself driving it. And ooh, let's see. Yeah, we always have to have a big truck. A truck with tires as big as the truck itself. It would not be a cruise without those as well. Boy, you can see how hot it is out there. See what I'm saying? We have to have some big vehicles out here. All right? That's the important part. If you can get through. That's another... Oh, looks like we've had a stall here with one particular car. Like I said, once again, it is hot out here, and that is hard on some of this old steel. Hopefully they get along just fine. Another new Corvette, where once again the engine has been put in the middle for ideal weight distribution. Classic Chevrolet truck. Well, we gotta have a bike. We always have to have a bike. Somebody's having a party, that's for certain, and someone is very loved. I didn't quite catch that, but it's being advertised for certain. Oh, the classic but modern Jeep. I like that. And a Bronco. The funniest thing about these old Broncos is that really no one wanted them until that new one came out, and now no one can pay for them fast enough. Oh, okay, this is dramatic. I like it. We have a Jeep Dragon. So if Game of Thrones is ever modernized, I might have to throw one of those in there. A team of motorcycles traveling down the road. Very menacing classic car. See, look, everyone's happy to be out here today. They're waving, they're smiling. And a classic station wagon where you could keep the potato chips and the war rations that you've saved for a number of years now. Oh, yes. 33, a very lucky number on a classic fire truck going by right now. That is a lot of chrome right there. That is a lot of chrome. And I love the fins on that as well. Getting closer to a very typical Jeep. Now we're just for the latest Jurassic Park movie. See, I love the eclecticness here. You have some fancy cars, and you also just have some good run-of-the-mill trucks that come along here too. You can tell just everybody. It really doesn't matter as long as you're passionate about vehicles. Just bring it out. That's the best thing about this event. And he is almost scraping pavement. That is fantastic. Once again, a Bronco, a very popular car that's been in the news as of late. And, wow, that is an absolutely beautiful classic Volkswagen van, which I believe, oh, there we go. And a Camaro that is this time not Bumblebee, but it appears to be Lightning McQueen. What do we have next here rolling around the corner? All right. Traffic being directed responsibly as usual. Oh, a Dodge Magnum, which also shares a platform with the Chrysler 300, which happens to also share platforms with old Mercedes platforms since Chrysler was merged with Mercedes up till one point. Toyota truck, the most reliable truck on planet Earth, followed by more four-wheelers. And, oh, okay, yes, more Mustangs indeed. And I'm sure the owner of this Mitsubishi is very happy that they are also in a convertible with their dogs, it appears. The 1980s Camaro. The most Camaros of all Camaros, I'd say, even more than the 60s and 70s variations. There's a Corvette, 1970s Corvette, just passing there on the right. Followed what appears to be a Nissan from what I can see. We are cruising this year. Sometimes it gets a little traffic jam, but it seems like they've really figured out the flow this particular year, which is nice because people can actually cruise this year instead of sitting in their own smog, which I'm sure they're very happy to feel. And not smell on top of that. Oh, here we got some more cars. Mustangs are always a popular choice. I like the stripes on that one. And a very, very red Challenger, which unfortunately they were thinking of putting out of production, but I think they're considering putting those back into production here pretty soon. The electric model was, as you can imagine, not a very popular offering, because you buy a Dodge Challenger for a V8. The car as a side note. And we have, I believe, an Alice Chalmers tractor. A lot of car companies, including Porsche, made tractors. Lamborghini itself actually was a tractor manufacturer before it became a sports car manufacturer. There's a lot of history there. By all means, check it out. I like that we have some bikes this year. Sometimes I've not seen any bikes at all, so that is a great addition to the cruise this year. Thumbs up from the traffic controller. Very red. Very, very red hot rod. And oh, look. Okay, we were not on me for a second. More Mustangs indeed. Okay, and again, a lowrider. Very, very bold choice to stay that low, but they're still rolling. Once again, a very menacing, brand new Dodge. Got some cross traffic going here. It's like ships in the night. One car goes the one way, the other one goes the other way. I like these old trucks too, like this. I like these ones that are original, that look like they just came out of the factory the day they came out. Those are probably my favorite old trucks to see, where you can see where all the heritage for future designs came from. As you can see, plenty of other people come out here and just watch the show. They get their lawn chairs out, they're hanging out in the local wine bars, because we are in wine country, just watching the cruise as it goes by. Town has lots to offer. So we're mostly famous for the Aviation Museum, but we're also getting a big reputation on the automotive side as well. And a very happy Mustang owner. A 1990s Ford pickup. See, there was once upon a time when pickups only had 2 doors before 4 doors became more common. Now that is a color. I would say that's banana yellow, but I think even bananas aren't quite that yellow. You certainly will not miss that guy in a crowd. I do enjoy the white walls on that too. Lovely color on that Dodge Charger right there. Yellow, again, a popular color this year. Along with mincing, yes, Subaru, the king of rally cars, which, as you can tell, that one has probably been through a few recce events. The 1980s Camaro, the choice of all those who want to cruise on the road cheaply and in style. Another classic truck, a 1990s Dodge, and another Dodge on top of that. Seems to be a Dodge here this year. I like these old Jeeps that are very basic and bare to the bones, true to what they used to be. The car that won World War II and also led to the inspiration of other manufacturers such as Land Rover. Quad lights on a Toyota Supra right there. GM also seems to be in style this year with some excellent examples, including that Nova there. As you can see, we're seeing some of the same cars, so they are indeed cruising this year. I believe that Mustang appeared to have the same print as a Holstein cow. Interesting choice. Truck's having a little trouble getting around that corner, but I'm sure he does great off-road. We have a Corvette coming up here, but this time white. You don't see a lot of hypercars in white. Interesting choice. Porsche. I believe this is the first Porsche we've seen. As you can hear the rumble of all these cars going by. Lots of horsepower right here. Lots and lots of horsepower today. And classic horsepower. 10 to 12 miles per gallon type of horsepower. Pretty soon here we're going back to a live broadcast here. You know, I've never had a convertible in my life. I might need to get one. And watching all these convertibles go by is very tempting indeed. And this truck here is high enough, I'm sure you can see all the way to the coast for that matter, including the cruise itself. Well, we got some exciting flashing lights coming across on this Dodge here, with some flashy wheels included. And this truck looks like it's done a hard day's work almost every day of its life, but you know what? It's still rolling. Seems to be the theme this year. Yellow, exciting cars. All right. Oh, here comes the flame-throwing Jeep once again. I believe that's a Jeep. It's got so many things on it, I'm not sure what it is, to be honest with you. It might not be. Chevrolet truck's a popular choice for this year. And the fire truck rounding the corner. I'm sure this fire truck has, if it could talk, has many stories it can tell, but I'm sure it's also enjoying its retirement, just showing itself off for the residents of McMinnville, Yamhill County, and all those who have traveled out here for this event. Any good Jeep has to have a tow winch. It's almost impossible not to have one. Oh, I see a tiny little Mini Cooper going by. We just missed it. But it's kind of hard to miss since old Minis are literally that, mini. I have to be honest with you, I am a fan of obnoxious colors, including this very lime green Bronco. But if you're out off-roading in the woods, it might disappear out there. It might be a little too camouflaged for that matter. Just a good old standard reliable truck. You gotta have them. And then we have a Fox body Mustang, an odd Mustang from the 1980s that at one point actually was Ford considered dropping the Mustang due to low sales, but enough fans came in that they actually wrote into Ford and caused Ford not to cancel the Mustang. And so, for that reason, to this day, we still have them. And he's off again. My favorite, very loud, lime green this time. Lots of colorful cars this year. In years past, I've seen more flat colors, but it seems to be color is in style once again. An Audi, probably the first we've seen thus far. There's that menacing Dodge just rolling around the corner. Oh, no, he saw the camera and decided to show off a bit. Wouldn't be a proper cruise without some Nissan guys rolling through. And you can see they got a good system this year. We got some cross traffic going through, making sure that everyone's enjoying their cruise and not simply sitting in traffic. Yellow, again. That car looks a bit like a bee itself with the black stripes. Despite the heat we're having this August, you can tell we are in Oregon because the trees are always green in Oregon, at least on this side of the Cascades. Jeep rolling around the corner in a very mint green. One of my favorite classic trucks. Metallic paint job would appear on that one. And it wouldn't be summer if you didn't take the doors off of an off-roader. Appears to be our traffic controller's having a little trouble with this sign, but he is up again. All right. Oh, a minivan. See, that's the best part. It doesn't matter what you have. Just roll on through here. That's the whole point. Aside from the Chevys, it's the year of the Dodge this year. Lots of Dodge trucks. Love watching these cars coming around the corner. Back then, suspension is not quite what suspension is today, so they just roll their way through on not just their wheels, but on their bodies as well. Earlier today, there of course was a car show, and I'm a little sad that not everyone in the car show came out to spread their wings, so to speak. I saw a lovely Toyota Crown, actually, and for those of you who don't know what a Toyota Crown was, Toyota to this day still builds an ultra luxury Toyota that's only sold in Japan, that has customers including the Prime Minister and the Emperor of Japan himself. Hopefully next year that they'll little brave and decide to bring some interesting gray market imports out here as well. A Ford Model A, the successor to the Model T, one of the most mass-produced cars in the world. In fact, the first mass-produced car in the world. Pretty soon here we're going to be having some interviews that were shot earlier today. There's a lot of passionate fans out there, and they have lots to say about their cars. So I'm very excited to hear what they have to say.
Hi, this is Amanda with MCM-TV, and we are here at 2025 Cruise in McMinnville, and let's go talk to some people. I'm here with Tim, who co-founded Cruise in McMinnville, and how excited are you to see what it's become today?
Oh, this is awesome. It really is awesome. So every penny that comes in gets given away.
Okay.
Goes to kids going into the trades. So we're hoping they become auto mechanics, but whether they're beauticians, nail techs, horseshoers, it really doesn't matter what they're doing.
We need more horseshoers. We're here with Koi. Oh my gosh, tell us about your truck.
So it's a 1971 Chevy C10. It's been in my family since I was about 5. So when my dad passed, I got it and got to restore it to everything he wanted.
So is this your first time to cruise in McMinnville?
Actually, it's my second time to cruise in McMinnville, and I absolutely love it. It's one of the only car shows that they're just organized. So it's easy to get in. The flow is nice. The people are great out here in this town. We'll always be back.
I'm here with Elizabeth, one of the board members for Cruise in McMinnville. So what made you want to be a part of taking Drag the Gut and turning it into Cruise in McMinnville?
Well, my husband and I, we own an auto repair shop here in town, Scott's Automotive, and when we found out that it was that the current organizer was gonna step back from it, and we formed a board, and we decided if we were gonna do it, we wanted to make it a nonprofit that would give back to the communities.
The real Lightning McQueen here. Okay, I'm here with Chris. Why has Oregon State Credit Union just dove in and donated so much money to this amazing cause?
When we first started supporting a few years ago, I didn't know a whole lot about Cruising McMinnville. I learned slowly, over the years, they've donated over $80,000. At Oregon State Credit Union, two of our core values are social responsibility and education, and so the alignment was really obvious. I like the different timelines of the cars here. I'm really into jalopies and really old cars, so I think it's really cool that McMinnville has this just wide array of different cars.
I always try and make it to Cruise in McMinnville. It's really fun to look around and see the variety. I like the lunchboxy kind of cars.
Fun, yeah.
Yeah, and some of them have cool stories as well. So it's great event.
So, what brings you out here today in the beautiful town of McMinnville, Oregon?
That's the beautiful part about living in this town is we do crazy fun things like this. I can take the dogs for a stroll and look at all these beautiful cars, and later contribute to Cruise in McMinnville.
Right? What's your name and tell us about your car?
My name is Matt. I'm from Gresham, Oregon. This is a 2016 Dodge Challenger.
Amazing. So what brings you to this particular car show?
I came last year and I thought it was a blast, so I thought I'd come back again this year, and it's a blast so far too again.
I'm here with Mackenzie Moorhead, Vice President of the Cruise in McMinnville nonprofit.
Yes.
And how did you guys get started?
So we got started in 2018 when the city shut down the grassroots event that was called Dragging the Gut. We had a great opportunity to come in and make something positive for the community out of it. Since then, we've been going strong and, turned it into a nonprofit that gives back to trade scholarships, STEM grants, and local charitable giving to local charities within the area. So we give out 4 $2,000 scholarships, and they're for trades programs. And the trades programs are anything from cosmetology. We had a kid that worked for the rodeo, and he wanted to get a farrier's degree. So he goes around and does horseshoeing for rodeos. And we've given back $31,000 in trade scholarships since 2018. We've given back $19,000 in STEM grants. Which is anything science, technology, engineering, math. And we've given back to just about every charity within the county. And if you're not on our roster, please reach out to us. We'd love to put you on our roster. And then we've also given back $34,000 there, which is getting us to a grand total of about $84,000 since 2018.
That's beautiful.
It just gets better every year.
Well, that's it for Cruising McMinnville. My name is Amanda with MCM-TV. Everyone was absolutely amazing. The cars are amazing, and I hope you guys enjoyed and will come out next year.
And we're back, and in the studio with me, I have the renowned broadcaster himself, Kyle Dauterman. Welcome to Cruising McMinnville, Kyle.
Thank you. This is my first time. Usually I'm on the other side of this broadcast. In fact, I still am. At any moment, I might get up and go change the camera or go fix the audio. So, who knows? It's a real multi-talented crew here.
So you're kind of Orson Wellesing this, little Mel Gibson it behind
it.
You
could say so.
Yeah.
You could say so. Maybe a little less problematic.
Yeah, it actually is going very smooth this year.
Good,
so what do you think? What do you think of the cruise this year?
I love the cruise event, and we just saw Mackenzie there in the video talking about how much money they've given back, and the event has really grown into something else entirely. It's this amazing event that brings people together with the car show, with all the charity that they do. It's a really cool event.
I remember it years ago back when it was Cruising the Gut, and it's grown quite a bit as the years have gone by. In fact, I think in the early years it was literally just kind of bring your car out and see what happens, but it's become a full-blown event now.
See what happens was a pretty big part of it, too. Yeah, it was a bit less regulated, and, I think that it's at a certain point it was like, well, you got to kind of put some guardrails up on this thing, and that's where the cruising organization kind of stepped in and has really done a great job of keeping the spirit of the event, too.
Yes, but with some structure at the same time.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Was guardrails a pun intended or not an pun intended?
I guess that is a good pun to think about. You usually don't want your car interacting with guardrails too often.
No, yeah, that'd be bad.
I can't say that I have, but, it's very, very hot outside, so it's nice to be in the studio here today. It feels about 110, if we see the street out there. Yeah. I mean, you can kind of tell by the picture a little bit that it's hot out there, but it's hot out there. But a lot of really cool rides out there. Actually, somebody, a Chevrolet broke down right in front of our camera as we were starting. I don't know if you saw that.
I did, and I commented on that, so that's unfortunate.
And they were able to push it out of the way. It's actually on the other side, so the other camera is set up facing this way now because they pushed it right in front of our camera. So it's funny, we've got the whole road and they crash. They break down right in front of that first camera. But a lot of really, really interesting vehicles out. We're getting some new stuff coming around, a couple new vehicles, but a lot of repeats. It's still early in the night, so.
Yeah, that's the thing is that there's the car show earlier in the day, which some stream in for that, but really anyone can just hop in at any time. I don't believe there's any registration or anything for the cruise, right? Yeah.
No, not for this. Not for this aspect. I've seen this Jeep before, so. And here comes a Porsche as well. This little Nissan Rogue or something has come around about 4 or 5 times. I really appreciate their commitment to the cruise, or maybe they're just really lost on their way home.
That has happened.
That could be true as well. There's some great vehicles out, and it's actually because it's opened up a little bit. In years past, it gets really gridlocked. In years past,
I'm not noticing that this year.
No, not a lot. Not a lot of gridlock this year. I remember last year at this event, there was quite a bit more, but it was quite a bit cooler. And you and Adam were calling the show outside. This year we're here inside looking at a monitor, which is good. So, it's a little bit different this year.
Well, last year was 70-odd degrees. Now it's over 100 right now.
It is.
I don't feel too guilty that we're in the studio
right
now.
I don't feel guilty at all. Yeah, I mean, you can tell by this shot especially. I mean,
it looks like
our camera's looking at heaven right there. I mean, it's going to get taken away. I mean, there's the broken down Chevrolet right there.
It's still there.
There's the little boy who's him and his presumably his dad are trying to get it to start. He was trying to turn it over, and I thought, yeah, it just wasn't catching anything.
In this heat, anything is possible right now.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that walking around the car show. I thought some of these vehicles might not start when we go to leave here, and I wonder if down the road that is an issue. Probably not. A lot of people are very meticulous maintaining these vehicles, but these older vehicles, they can be a bit finicky sometimes.
Well, that's something with modern cars that we take very much for granted, is that they will pretty much run in any condition.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. That is something we do really take that for granted.
I mean, after 100+ years of the internal combustion engine, they've really refined it by this point, which is kind of sad since we're replacing it now with electric motors that we haven't quite refined yet.
Yes, we're still figuring that part out. There's a lot of interesting things that happen at this event as well, outside of just the vehicles and the car show and now the cruise. They raise a lot of money and they give away a lot of money for trade scholarships, STEM scholarships, which is all really awesome stuff. Oh, I'm seeing some taillights there. Maybe we have some. Maybe we have liftoff here. Whoa! What is that? The thing looks like
it's very utilitarian. Whatever.
Yeah, seriously, I have no idea what that is. That was fantastic.
Maz Miata. You cannot not have a Miata.
The Miata guys, they're definitely the few, just like the Marines, the few, the proud.
Yes. A van. See, I'm a big fan of vans. Vans don't get talked about enough.
We haven't seen, we did see the one minivan earlier. I'm hoping for a few more, maybe Honda Odysseys, maybe a Toyota Sienna, that car lives right down the street from me. They're always working on it, so good to see them out and about.
It's running, so that's good.
It's running, that's good. Yeah, that's that says a lot. But it's a bit quieter It's a bit quieter today than maybe in past years. But it's probably to do with the heat.
Oh yes, but there's still plenty of people out here today, so that is an encouraging thing to see.
Yeah, I think later in the evening, after we go off, in the later parts of the evening, we tend to go off because one, it gets dark. And filming in the dark is quite complicated. And two, it tends to get a little rowdier in the evening. We'll see. Maybe the heat will keep everybody calm.
I don't know if you've ever been to a cruise. The real party doesn't start when it gets dark. So
true. Yeah, that is true. It does say that the event ends at 9. I really wonder how much they are able to enforce that.
It's kind of like a yellow light. It's more of a suggestion.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. Do not consult. I don't think it says that in the ODOT driver's manual. I don't think it says it's a suggestion.
In Italy, it does.
It's a suggestion. Yeah. I got a nice Jeep. Feel good for these people with their doors off, with their roof off. They're having a good time. This is they've prepared for this moment.
Oh yeah, they've been working on this for months, if not all year.
Buddy, your roof is still on. I don't think he knows.
Well, if it's not on and he doesn't notice that would be really problematic. So,
it's really great that people come out and they participate in this event. It's a really great community building event. In that video we saw with Amanda earlier, just people come from all over as well.
Oh, they do.
It's not just a McMinnville event. People are coming from all over Oregon and sometimes out of the state as well.
A lot come out of state.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And so I'd say maybe about a quarter of these cars, maybe not this year, but in the past.
Whoa.
I'd say about a quarter of these cars are from out of state. Yeah.
Well, can we get a shot of that again? What was that thing? What is that thing?
I think it might be a Ford van truck thing they made for a while.
I hope that comes back around. That was... I don't even know what to say about that.
That's the thing is, I've spent my whole life looking at cars, but there's even some obscure stuff that comes rolling through here. I'm like,
Oh, here's another minivan. Here we go. Oh, there.
I learned to drive in a minivan.
You want to drive a minivan?
No, I learned to drive.
Oh, you learned to drive.
Yeah, it was a cherry red Chrysler Voyager.
What year?
Like 94, I believe.
Automatic?
It was automatic. And you had to stand on the brakes to get it to stop.
He's got a crisp 5,000 pounds behind it. And those, man. Here we go. Always got to have folks in the back.
In the
pickup
back of the
trucks.
trucks.
Yep. That had a whole recliner in
That might. No, I'm not sure. That went by too fast. That could have been an electric Challenger. The ones that.
Really?
So somebody bought one.
I didn't know those have ever. It's kind of like those electric Hummer EVs. I don't know if anybody actually owns one of those. I've never seen one on the road.
There's one not too far from my house. But
really?
The funny thing with the electric Challengers is that you buy a Dodge Challenger to buy a V8. The car just kind of comes along with it.
Yeah, it's sort of brought along with the whole package.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as it careens down the road. Yeah. Well, you buy a Dodge Challenger as well to, go 75 in the right lane as well. In a 60. That's just
naturally.
Comes with the territory. Yeah, naturally. Comes with the territory. One thing that's really neat about this event is seeing the mixture of vehicles as well.
Mm-hmm.
The different kinds of vehicles.
Whoa.
Oh,
I think he sees the cameras. He's showing off a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I love when people go right in front and we record them committing what might be a crime. That's not a crime. But,
no.
Or a couple more feet in me.
I feel sorry for this guy right here. He broke down right in front of there was witnesses.
I know there was witnesses. It's right there. It's so many. I do feel kind of bad for him. Oh well. It's tough because you wait all year for this and then
Mm-hmm.
they're waving.
See, I've seen more convertibles than ever, and I think it's just because anyone had a convertible decided this was the day to take it out.
Yeah, seriously. No, you have to. I mean, what's interesting is earlier today we were walking down through the car show and going through, and you get into this heat for a couple minutes and you think, wow, what a beautiful car there. It's incredible. But we're going down the street here, and for the first few minutes you think, oh, it's not too bad, and then you start to move your body a little bit, and you're like, oh man, it's too much.
I like those 70s Corvettes right there.
They're really interesting shape. You don't see a lot.
No, you don't, and that's the thing. I like the Corvettes that have the interesting shapes. I like the original one from the 50s. I like the one we just saw, and I like the latest one.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
2025?
Well, once they started, like I was commenting earlier here, once they started making the mid-engine, that's when I was like, it took them a long time to put the engine where it needs to go. But some people might not agree with me, but with a car like that, generally you want the engine in the middle.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on engines in the back?
It works for a 911, and that's about it.
Okay. Not a Ford Pinto? I'm kidding. No, that's the gas tank.
The one that exploded?
Yeah. What were they thinking? We don't see any Ford Pintos. I think about 4 or 5 years ago we saw a Ford Pinto.
There is one that goes through town.
Yeah?
At least it used to. I saw it every morning. It was this lovely brown. Dark brown.
What's living up to its name?
Mm-hmm. But it was a 1970s model, and apparently the guy drove it every day and commuted in it, so at least that one didn't blow up.
That is an absolute unicorn. Seriously, that is a unicorn.
That's, I think, maybe our first bicycle.
Maybe. Sir, I think you're at the wrong event.
At least he's not. Well, at least he got the memo. This is not the naked bike ride. That's up in Portland.
Yeah, that would be an issue. Be like, hey, hang on a minute. Who are these guys? Once again, you're watching Cruising McMinnville 2025 here on McMinnville Community Media. I'm Kyle Dauterman here alongside Jared Brandon Flande. It's a pleasure to be with you here today. And, just talking about some cool cars, trying to stay cool here in 100-degree weather. I wonder what's really the future of this event, I guess, if we want to get into a different topic here. How much more could this event really expand? I mean, it pretty much fills up the entirety of 3rd Street, all the way down. I mean, there were a few less entries this year. It didn't quite go all the way past Golden Valley, but I think that there's, I'd be interested to hear from them on if there is any ideas of expanding the event, maybe a second day. I mean, there's some different ideas out there.
Oh, I think you very much could expand this. I noticed that there was some tents outside selling merchandise and whatnot. I think there could be a really big opportunity for anything automotive related to really stack onto that.
Yeah.
So if you have an automotive business, this would be an ideal advertising and marketing place. I think there's definitely an aspect for that.
Yeah, I think that's a solid idea and a solid point. they do a lot with the donations and the scholarships and all those things. And there is a certain amount of administrative overhead. And, I bet somewhere out there they're thinking when I say a second day, it's like, oh my gosh, I know this is a massive volunteer event. The types of, they have to have a lot of people on to take on a whole day event like this, and the parking and, keeping everything going well. Some of that professionalism that we were talking about earlier that they've brought to the event. I'm just not sure maybe a second day would be too much to ask for.
Well, I'm glad you pointed this out, because this very much is a volunteer event. It would not be possible without them doing that.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know if they have any live entertainment this year?
That's a good question. I think there was. There was definitely someone down on 3rd Street. And there was some live music at Two Dogs as well. Not quite. Not quite the same. Oh, we just missed the Mustang. There's the
I saw,
there.
the whole sting.
Yeah. It's got in big letters right there on the front.
It says Mustang. I missed that.
Yep. It goes by too quick to see it, but when I was out there doing the camera, I was able to see that. And yeah, fascinating.
Interesting choice.
Is this that same? Are they going to?
He's just cruising, man.
He's just having a great time.
I know in the past, speaking of live entertainment, they had a band with a main stage set out right in the middle of 3rd. That was quite a way.
Is this that mid-engine that you're looking at?
Yeah, and there's actually been a handful of those this year.
Yeah, I see those quite frequently. They're definitely a bit. They're definitely more. Oh, here we go. We haven't seen this yet. Oh, and got a lot of work trucks out today too, as well, or trucks that have done a lot of work.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yes, that's one way to put it as well. It's a nice night out in McMinnville. It will certainly be a bit nicer to be outside in about 4 or 5 hours. These daytime highs, it's not really necessarily that. It's the fact that it doesn't get cool all night. It doesn't get to below 70 until 4 in the morning. It just never gets cool.
Do you stay up till 4 in the morning often?
No, I just get up. I just get up at 4 in the morning, and
here's a Jag, our first Jag right here.
Jag.
Yeah, there. Very good.
Beautiful. Yes. Hey, but they're following the rules of the road better than that Dodge owner back there. So there's room for all kinds of.
Which
Jag
is not customary for
no,
a Jag
not.
owner.
Definitely not. Definitely not. I think when you walk into a Jag dealership, they say, "Do you have any points on your license?" And if you say no, they just say,
yeah, you can't buy this.
You can't be. Yeah. Oh, look at the doggies. They are a staple of McMinnville events. I swear they are in everything. Oh, wow.
That seems like a U car. I don't know why. But...
that one, yeah. That is a couple of those components are 3 to 4 inches off the ground. Speed bump, you just got to turn around. I mean, you got to go home at that point. Oh.
Ford Taurus,
oh,
yes.
Yes. Somebody's trying to leave work and is like, what did I just go into?
I've heard stories. There's people that donate. Oh, look at this very nice original Corvette right here.
Oh, wow.
With that's the two-tone paint.
Incredible.
Yep. But no, I have heard stories where people didn't even know this was going on, and they get stuck in the loop and can't get out. But like I said, as we've commented, the traffic control is better this year, so maybe they've avoided that problem.
Yes, I think there was pressure at a certain point because the end of 3rd Street intersects there with what would that be?
99. Yeah.
And I think at a certain point, I think state officials were like, yeah, you got to. I think it now turns off before it gets to 99W. I think. I'm not 100% sure about that. I think they turn back and then go on to 4th and then come back. I think it's the way it works nowadays. But I think that helps the event flow a lot better. Oh, this poor vehicle.
And to think, if you go back to George Lucas's second movie, American Graffiti, there was basically no regulation on that.
Yeah.
It's just good.
Yeah.
Travel as much as you wanted. And no one really seemed to have a problem with it.
Yeah.
But even that was a period piece. Think about it. It was made in the 70s, and it took place in the 60s, I think.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder, having not been alive, I wonder how much of the film portrayals of that era are exaggerated.
From what I've been told is that it was very accurate. That was what it was like.
Interesting.
I mean,
here's that mid-engine Corvette. Oh, it's a different color mid-engine Corvette coming back here.
Yeah, like I said, I saw a handful of different ones here.
Mm-hmm. There are a few different ones. There was a very nice black one a couple of years ago. Was one of the first model years that they started doing that. It was the first time I had seen one of those, and it's a very imposing body. It's a really really nice design.
It still looks like a Corvette, but they kind of almost have some kind of European design flares running through it. I think too.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Got a J.J. Abrams looking shot here. We got plenty of lens flare.
Lens flare.
Yeah. You always got to have the Subaru guys as well.
My brother's a Subaru guy.
Oh, yeah?
He's owned 3. I'm pretty sure.
Did he ever own a blue Impreza WRX? You know, the type, with the spoiler and everything.
He owned a blue WRX, but it was a wagon or a hatch, not a wagon. Sorry, it was a hatch.
Mm-hmm.
He has a white STI now, though.
There you go. I think do they only make them in 2 colors? I feel like I've never seen another color when they're only
white and blue.
Really? I think so. Seriously, I think they might only make them in those 2 colors.
Scirocco.
All right, look at that.
Same designer as the Lotus Esprit and the DeLorean as well.
Yeah, that adds up. They really like their angles. You know, that one colored kind of similar to Shrek, maybe. I mean, definitely a striking green.
Wonder if it has a Scottish accent.
Now, you know, speaking of cars with accents, you know, we saw the Lightning McQueen there.
Yeah,
earlier.
I saw. Yeah.
You know, interesting. I think at some point there was some sort of wasn't there some sort of lawsuit or something about somebody made a Lightning McQueen type vehicle? Have you ever heard this story?
Something rings a bell. There's a
Lotus.
Lotus Esprit right there.
Beautiful vehicle. Probably so light you could probably just pick it up.
Yep.
Dynaco. Here's another reference to cars.
To go back to the Lotus real quick, Colin Bruce Chapman, the founder himself, was famously quoted as saying, "Simplicity and lightness. That was how a car won a race."
Yeah, I think that's. Not being a car designer myself, I think lightness would be paramount. Whoa. Yeah, see, this is why you don't stop. How funny would that have been if we actually just live captured an accident on air? That would have been too funny.
You know, the studio is actually in a very appropriate place here for this because it's right at this corner where everyone comes through.
It is.
And
really
right down the main drag, yeah.
It's one of my favorite things about this location for all different kinds of events, actually. For the Santa Parade, for the UFO Parade. It's a great place to be right on the corner here.
I know. We used to be out in the old Tanger Outlet Center, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that was kind of often the Toolies, so
and you always had to come in for events, and you always forget something. This is a great location here. Oh,
see, there's your Corvette again.
There's a ton of them. A nice red interior. This has got to be hard to clean. Here we go. Very, very nice older trucks out today.
Yeah, we got a fair amount of those today, which trucks is not supposed to be glamorous, but I do like to see those trucks that look pretty pristine, like they're brand new.
Yeah, and people take great pride in them, and sometimes maybe it's not the truck that they. Oh boy!
That lunchbox is rolling by. There's American Graffiti car right there.
Absolutely. No kidding. I'm still thinking about that lunchbox. I'm hungry.
Was could have been a Nissan. I know it's one of those Japanese ones, like from the '90s, I believe.
Here's another nice
big
lifted
Ford
rig here. Yep.
I wonder how often he tows stuff with that, or if it's just a grocery hauler.
You don't know.
You don't know.
Oh, on the opposite side of the spectrum, you think you could fit this in the bed?
He might. That looks like a car my sister would drive. Honestly, she would like that.
That's fantastic. Another beautiful view of historic downtown McMinnville.
You did a good job setting up the angles this year.
Thanks.
That shot's got a lot of depth to it.
Yeah, well, it helps that we have a broken down car in the foreground.
That does help. So that was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. These events always bring people together. I think that also this event really marks, I feel like at least, the end of summer in McMinnville.
I would concur with that because
even though it's still going to be 100 degrees for another couple of weeks, this really feels like kind of the wrap up of summer to me. Oh wow, this is pretty color here.
Yeah, I do like this. It's kind of it's not yellow. I'm not sure what you'd call that.
It's kind of a paler yellow. I don't know. It fits
cream
the vehicle.
Yellow.
Yeah. There's definitely something to be said about maybe you don't like a color on all vehicles, but certain colors fit certain vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we saw that orange Lotus earlier. I wouldn't necessarily say I would like an orange vehicle normally, but I think it looked nice on that
It suits a
vehicle.
Lotus.
Yeah.
It's like I hate green. I don't say I hate green. There's a green Bronco that I worked with, and Lamborghinis, which we haven't seen today, unfortunately. But Lamborghinis just always look good in green. It's one of the few cars that just does.
Yeah. Green is such an aggressive and annoying color. It fits
Well, that's what the
Lamborghinis
whole
very
point
well.
of a Lamborghini.
You know, that is really the whole point. Aggressive and loud and irritating. You know, sort of green and Lamborghinis kind of fit together, I think. I'm going to get a letter in the mail from Lamborghini corporate saying,
Well, see, it may have been a backhanded compliment, but nonetheless, it was a compliment.
Well, sure, but, you know, colors and cars go together. I mean, there's the Ferrari red, right?
Yep, and the atrocious brown Pinto.
Yes, absolutely. You know, there's whatever blur of a color you look by and you look on in the left lane where the BMW is, you know, passing you going 145 miles an hour on the freeway.
Or tailgating you.
Or tailgating you, yes, the color of tailgate. You know, vehicles have their colors.
Are you a Bronco fan?
You know, I would say that it's one of the vehicles of all time. I wouldn't say that I'm overtly a fan of them. They're okay. I think the older style, I don't know, maybe I'm just one of those guys that is just stuck in the past. But the older style has something that the newer style just doesn't necessarily have.
Now, that's how trucks should be, in my opinion. Small, practical.
Yeah?
Yeah, I read that. It's like something like 80% of people never tow anything with their trucks, and they never even use them for their entire bed capacity. A small truck is what most people just need.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would say that the average truck size in America is bordering on ridiculous. It is definitely... It's definitely very big. I don't know if this broadcast is the right place to air that grievance because the folks tuning into this might not be so happy about that observation. But it is true, especially out here. You see a lot of trucks that don't get a lot of work. But
when some Toyota designers came over here in the early years when they first started importing, and they weren't even big trucks back then, but when they saw that people privately owned trucks, that it was just mind-boggling to them that those were for private use.
Yeah, that they weren't for like
utilities departments or anything like that. Because
yeah. Here is the fire engine once again. Amity fire engine looks like 33. Beautiful vehicle.
That is a very dedicated niche audience. There's people that are super into just fire trucks themselves. And they're not even firefighters. They just love fire trucks.
Well, they're really fascinating, pieces of technology. They're practical, but they don't look like anything else on the road. They're kind of custom built. They are pretty cool, I would say.
I'm hearing a little engine roar out there.
You sure can. All the way from in here. This poor vehicle is still here. Wonder if it'll still be there by the time we go off air here. Yeah, like that blue. That blue that
that's
just
a
went
nice
by.
blue.
That's a nice blue, but think about that Ford Taurus earlier. In that blue, you would be like, "Oh, that's an okay blue."
See, a Ford Taurus has to be dark green. I don't know why. That's just
it's the only color they're allowed to be.
When I think of a Ford Taurus, it's just always in forest green.
That's fair. That's fair.
That particular year, too, like those early 2000 ones.
Yep, you learn your lesson. Keep going.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Skinny pedal. What is this?
It's a Pontiac Firebird, maybe? A very late one.
Yeah, could be. What do we got on the other side here? We got another newish Mustang.
Oh, see, there's a front engine Corvette right there. I think it's maybe one of the, other than the classic ones, the first one we've seen.
Mm-hmm. Here's the vehicle that you prescribed to me earlier today.
Yes, I could see you.
Could see me in that.
Rolling into Winco.
Sometimes a man needs mozzarella cheese and he has no other wheels. I mean, what are you
gonna do?
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Oh, see this vehicle here across the way. That is.
I think that might be Mater's cousin.
Oh yeah, yeah, Tater.
Tater, yeah.
Tonight. Yeah. A lot of truck. We got all trucks here, and a Jeep.
There's been some Jeeps tonight, and a Nissan Z car, or a Datsun, I should say.
Yeah, yeah. Pretty little car. There's a Ford Taurus on the way back.
And a Mitsubishi Eclipse.
You know, the Eclipse was really popular around the early 2000s.
Yes.
Is it out of production?
Oh, yeah. It was a continuation of an Eagle Talon, which was this this brand that didn't last too long after Chrysler bought American Motors Corporation. It was kind of an orphan of a car. But again, like a lot of these, they all have these little quirky followings here and there.
I think the Eclipse got a lot of notoriety. Did it appear in Fast and the Furious, I think?
You want to know a secret? I've only seen one Fast and Furious movie, which is surprising coming from me.
Yeah. Thought I was giving you a softball there. I was
My sister loves them, though. She has the whole set.
I feel like the first several movies are good, and then it sort of became a franchise thing, and it sort of became something entirely different later in its,
It was guys street racing, and then I was making a joke with my noted co-host Adam when the latest one came out. I was like, "What's next? They go into space?" And he gives me this very deadpan look. They go into space. He goes, "Yes." They go into space. It's like, oh boy.
I mean, after you've done everything on the ground,
what
there's
else
only so many places you can go.
But I will give them credit. They seem to just kind of point the finger at themselves and laugh about it too.
Yeah. One small step for man, one giant leap for Dom Toretto. It's kind of a quiet evening, really, for cruising, I think.
I think it's the heat this year, but despite as hot as it is, I think it was still actually a very good turnout this year.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say a very nice turnout, given the circumstances of 100-degree heat, and it's a very dry heat as well. Can we take a look at the other angle here? I want to see if that car's still. Yep. And they're still there. Yep.
As we are rolling close to the conclusion of our broadcast here.
Yeah, well, just a few more minutes here. I'm going to come back on Tuesday, and I bet that thing's still going to be there. I don't know. It was choking for air. I wonder what its deal was. The electrical sounded fine, but...
Yeah, the lights were on earlier, but now they're not.
Yep, who knows? Oh, well. These folks at 7-Eleven are like, what in the world is happening?
They probably have new employees every year. Yeah. They're just like, what on earth?
What is happening here?
I bet they get a little extra business, though. They'd have to.
Oh, definitively. Yeah, I mean, hundreds and hundreds of people are out on the street. As you saw in our preview video there with Amanda, tons. Just fix the timer. Yeah.
Oh, there goes an classic Alfa Romeo Spider.
You were telling me earlier that in cold weather climates, they never started. Can you tell the audience a little bit more about that?
Well, this is what I've been told. So these older Italian cars, their oil lines were built differently than other cars of that time. And Italy, especially in the south of Italy, that was fine. But if you put it in a colder climate like Michigan, Minnesota, upstate New York, or a rainy climate like Oregon, the way those oil lines were designed didn't just work in those climates very well. So older Italian cars got a reputation for not being very reliable, so Fiat, fix it again, Tim.
Yep.
But the reality was the cars actually were built fairly well. They just weren't built for colder climates. But in the more modern world here, where there's all these international standards, for the most part, pretty much any brand's a safe buy anymore. Doesn't matter who makes it.
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense, that regionalization, of car creation.
Yeah, car creation used to be very regionalized, but it's much more internationalized now.
Yeah, there are a lot of brands, though, in the U.S. that many U.S. consumers would just really never have heard of. I mean, Alpha might be one of those. I mean, I could definitely see many American consumers not knowing what an Alpha was.
Yeah, they were here for a while, then they went out of the U.S. market, and then they've been back for a bit now because Fiat emerged with Chrysler after Chrysler essentially divorced from Mercedes. And then since then, Fiat Chrysler has merged with Peugeot Citroën, which also bought Holden and Vauxhall from GM, which were respectively an Australian and an English brand. So that became a new conglomerate called Stellantis, which exists now. So you do see some Fiats on the road, like the little 500. I've yet to see any Peugeots or Citroens, but that would be kind of fun if they eventually start importing those as well.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of those, and I would not think many American consumers would be very familiar with any of the, especially a Vauxhall. I don't think I've ever seen a Vauxhall in the States.
I've seen one.
You've seen one?
It was on Westvale in McMinnville.
Really?
I have no idea what it was doing there.
I don't know if it did either.
It probably did it. Yeah. And I have seen a Holden over here. Actually, it was apparently a gray market import from Australia. But
yeah. So explain to the audience what a gray market import is.
So you have black market import, which is illegal, and then you have an import, which is totally legal. It comes across the border, everything's right there, fine there. Gray market is a car that's not sold like in North America, but there is certain exceptions where someone can import one if it meets all the regulations and blah blah emissions and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So that's why you occasionally see these right-hand drive Toyotas here and there. Somebody gray market imported those.
Yeah. I mean, that was certainly an experience when I was over in London and in Edinburgh last year. It's just wrong what they do over there. It's just wrong.
See, they think we're wrong.
No, they should know they're wrong. If you've been, and you're there, and you're going to turn, you're in the left lane, which is already wrong, and you're going to turn into the opposite left lane turning right. That's just, there's something.
You know why they do that, especially in the UK?
I was going to say drugs, but you can.
Once upon a time, because most people are right-handed, you would take your horse on the left side of the road. So either one, you could reach your hand out to shake someone's hand, or you could defend yourself with a sword.
Oh, the average. I think no longer. See, I think we need to tell Londoners that this is no longer an issue.
And that was that way for centuries. This was only within maybe the last 100+ years that switching over to the right side became normalized. And there's a list of reasons for that. It had to do with politics, it had to do with how wagons were constructed, but it was not always that way for the longest time.
I think there was a country in Scandinavia that was left-hand drive. And
it was Sweden.
Yeah, do you know what year that was?
It
was pretty recent.
They converted over in the 1960s.
The 1960s.
Yeah.
They just get one day. They just said, "Everybody, other side."
There's an entire Joyride episode on that, which is a podcast. So
that is a podcast hosted by yourself.
It is.
Go and check that out. I did not even. That was not the reason I brought that up.
Yeah,
I just thought
there's an entire episode on that. They called it Doggen-H, which was a short for some 28-letter long Swedish word. I don't even remember what it is, and if I did, I'm not even going to attempt it. So.
We got a few different vehicles. I don't think we've seen that Bronco yet. That's a new one. And people come out at different times. My dad will be out here inevitably. So at some point. Nowadays, oh, geez. What did he switch over to?
A Geo.
My father, famous for switching his vehicles a lot. In the mid-2010s, my dad drove a manual Camaro.
Wow.
For a while.
What year was it?
I think it was newer. It was maybe 14 or 15.
Oh, okay.
And there weren't many manuals made.
It was the Transformers one?
It was red, but it was a similar make and model, And it was a nice vehicle. My dad did miss a couple shifts in it though, so
oh, that happens. Yeah.
Head hits the headrest a few times.
Dunk.
Wasn't really a family vehicle, but you know.
Oh, what's the fun in that?
Well, Phil's adjusting our timer again. Let's see what we've got left on this. Let's see. Okay, there we go. We've got 4 more minutes left in our broadcast here. Once again, you're watching Cruising McMinnville 2025 here on McMinnville Community Media. I'm Kyle Dauterman alongside Jared
Brandon Flande.
There you go. There you go. It's because I was outside doing the cameras for a couple minutes. That was all the fumes, you know. Those got to me. They do, though.
They do. It smells very heavy, like carbon monoxide.
Viewers can probably tell that we're kind of an unmanned camera crew this year. Part of that is that it's 100 degrees. It really feels like 110 out on the concrete out there. But 2, it is really challenging. I mean, this year's a bit better because there's not so much backup. But when the vehicles get stacked up, it can be really hard to stand out there and not just start coughing and wheezing.
Now, here's the funny thing, Kyle. So for non-gearheads, that just smells like exhaust. But for gearheads, that smells like Nirvana.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I think your primary care doctor would care to differ, but you know. That's all right.
Well, I had a great uncle that smoked unfiltered cigarettes and lived well into his 90s, so I guess it's just luck of the draw.
You know, that's what the people are here for, to hear about.
Once a year, one
He's back getting into the vehicle. Let's see what he's up to.
Well, he's poking around.
Yep.
Hopefully it's the owner.
It is.
Okay.
The guy was wearing the orange shirt. Yeah. Sorry, he tries to steal it. This car doesn't even work.
Yeah, he doesn't know he's on camera. That'd be awesome.
That would be. I mean, it's a pretty tall camera, like 5 feet away. That would be pretty challenging. He's maybe getting his stuff out. I feel bad. It was right at the start there. Right
I know.
From the jump. You know, the heat does take its toll. And as we roll along here, cars will be going until 9 o'clock. At least that's what the posted time is. I'm sure we'll probably see a few vehicles out later than that.
So
tonight.
In the future, if you're not here at 5 o'clock, don't worry. The cars keep rolling for quite a bit.
Yes, it's a good time out here. It's a very, very good time.
Despite the heat, it nonetheless is a beautiful day today, though.
It really is. It really is. This event could be very challenging if it were to rain, you know, because a lot of people wouldn't necessarily want to bring their cars out.
Like the Italian cars.
Yes. Sorry. My oil pipes, they're so small. There we go.
We had a few BMWs rolling at the last minute. So.
Yep, coming in naturally late, you know. Always going 100 miles an hour, but still somehow late, you know.
Well, you know, they got all sorts of important things to do, those BMW drivers. Well,
yeah, it could be. Or they've worn out their tires from drifting in McDonald's parking lots or whatever.
Have you witnessed this? I've not.
Any witnesses? What are you, the cops?
No, I've never heard of the BMWs doing donuts in McDonald's parking lots.
Well, you know, you got they're always in high school. There's a few kids. Whoa. Wait, hang on. Go to 3.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if they're actually getting pulled over.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just the police showing off the lights of the truck or it's an actual pullover, but...
Oh, it kind of looks like they just pulled them over.
Uh-oh. See, that is the thing. There is regulations and rules here, folks. So
yeah, they sure just got pulled over. That's the vehicle that keeps...
Yep.
You know, that kept doing some of those running starts there.
And we're back in the studio.
All right.
Well, I want to thank you very much for letting me host this year again, Kyle.
Absolutely.
And I want to thank you for joining me this
Absolutely.
year as well.
It was a pleasure to be in the studio here with you, and thanks for joining us. For McMinnville Community Media, I'm Kyle Dauterman.
I'm Jared Brandon Flande.
And we'll see you next time.
Thanks much.